Hi. Hey guys, I'm Will from Will's Vocal Studio. Today we are going to talk about mic technique. So there's a few things I want to cover. First thing is, what's the average kind of mic you would expect to use? An SM58. You guys probably have all seen one of these things before. They normally look beat to hell on a stage. And the reason why is these things are bulletproof. They literally can go through anything.
Little heat test. We getting a signal? Yeah? Check 1 2, check 1 2.
They're $100. You can find them everywhere, and this is probably the microphone you will be singing through if you go to a show and you go and perform there. Now, with that being said, you might want your own microphone. You might find something that you identify with that brings out a quality in your voice that you really like. But as a stock standard, you'll probably be working with this. So let's start talking about technique a little bit. How to hold a microphone so that you don't look one silly and also don't do silly things on a stage. So this is called the XLR. This is the microphone cable that will be plugged into there. Now, one of the fast things that happen all the time is that you'll see somebody hold a microphone in a weird way, and then somebody will step on it. It pulls it right out. Now, we want to avoid that. So the first thing we do, once around the arm. This will stop from that. So when your bandmates step on it, it doesn't pull the cable out. Now, hopefully you got a good click in there, so it won't do that, but let's just say you don't. So some people will wrap tape around that, and that'll help keep the XLR connected to your microphone. You don't want to do this to the stage person's microphone, to the sound person's microphone. So we want to think about this in a couple ways. How do you hold a microphone? This is what I'd like you to do. I want you to place the microphone like this. Notice how my thumb, come on closer. Notice how my thumb is above it in this type of way. You can go around, but I would recommend not doing that. Again, the thumb comes out. Some people you might see hold the microphone like this, in this type of way. Now, there's a couple of reasons why we want to do this. Now, the first reason is because this will put you in the right cone. If you're in the cone, then I will hear you correctly. Notice how you can't really tell that I'm talking. If you see somebody talking like this and you can't really hear them, that's because they're not in the cone. This is the cone. If I go outside of the cone, notice the sound just stops. It really cuts off dramatically. Why is that? Well, take a look at this. This is called the diaphragm. This is a piece of plastic. If you're talking to a piece of plastic, nothing happens. If you're talking to the microphone, down the diaphragm, we can hear you. Excellent. So, this is a way that you're going to want to work things. This is what's going to be expected of you. So, around, like this. Again, you can use your pinky as an anchor. Your thumb should not be on top of it. It should be just to the side of it. So the reason why we want to do this is, one, because this, with the distance of my arm, when I pull up, this is perfect. This is exactly where you want to be. If you are closer to the microphone, though it is louder, notice how it's not clearer. It's not something that you can actually make out my words as well, because I'm eating a microphone. So I need a little bit of space. Notice how this gives some air to the sound. You can actually hear very subtle things. You can hear actually T's and S's and K's and F's. You can actually hear more breath in there. This is great for a vocalist. This is the subtle stuff. We don't just want volume, we want clarity. Makes sense? The second way, and the reason you want to do this, because this might have happened to you before, but if you pull up too fast, and you don't have a little bumper here, you might hit yourself in the teeth. Your show is over if you hit yourself in the teeth. It's done. You just can't continue because your eyes will be watering. It's going to just mess up your whole show. Seen it a bunch of times. Just try to avoid that. Here, so in case you pull too close, you got a little bumper, but you're still in the cone. Make sense? Don't cover the hole, but just have a little protection. Notice how my arm comes right to the correct place. If I switch hands, same thing, same place. Makes sense. SM58 wired, SM58 wireless, the same exact microphone. How do we sound check? I want to talk about that with you for a second. When you sound check, there's a couple things you want to be aware. You normally hear people say, check 1, check 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, hey, 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. That is super annoying. That everybody hears that all the time. How do you sound check? Sing a song. Just sing one of your songs. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, but sing it correctly, sing it clearly, just like a verse, just part of a hey, yeah. The sound person can get that. Now again, same rules apply even for a wireless. This, you can't hear me. This, you can hear me. Other technique. When you sound check, you need space in here. This, from here where you sound check, don't pull in too close. Notice it's loud, but what's the first thing the sound guy is going to do? Sound person is going to do. They are going to turn down your volume. Now you're going to be fighting with the ability to hear yourself. We don't want to do that. So what you want to do is keep space in there. Why? Because we want to use good mic technique. When you increase your output, you will actually step further away, or you'll actually hold the microphone further away, still on the same plane. As I increase my output, notice how, if I would say the part was like a scale. Let's just say it's that. So if I was here, if I stay in the same spot, notice how loud it gets. Sound guy will pull you down in volume, and that's why we're fighting. We're trying to understand if it's clear or not. So you will instead go, sound is more even now because I increased my output to get to some of my top notes. Now ideally, you could try to go and keep it so that you're kind of restrict your volume, but we don't want to try to stop you from doing something naturally that you might feel. So if you go for a big note like a yeah, now we want to still try to find a relationship with the microphone so that we can hear the ambience of it. Yeah! That's probably about accurate for this space, for this place. Does that make sense about what we're trying to do? The last thing I want to leave you guys with is one big tip. A microphone can be a crutch for some people. I want you to remember that you are sharing your art and your ideas with a person. Look at them. Look at the person you're trying to identify with. If you look at the microphone, your voice stays with the microphone. It won't leave. It won't go anywhere because I'm here. Look, notice, I'll use that scale as an example again. Now if I just look at something, look at anything, look at something. My voice goes distances. It changes people and ideas where we're trying to target. I want you to keep your eyes open. I know it's a little nerve-wracking to open your eyes and stare at an audience, but you will learn a lot of information. And more importantly, you are going to connect with them because you're sharing your art.